Menstruation is a normal part of daily life for billions of women around the globe. Yet for a huge percentage of these women, their period represents a barrier to achieving education, independence, economic dignity, and ultimately, gender equality. The Sustainable Development Goal we've chosen to focus on is Goal 5, Gender Equality, which is more broadly encompassed by Goal 10, Reduced Inequalities. Period poverty was the overarching issue that we delved into throughout this assessment. We decided to focus more specifically on the country of Nepal, where the harmful practice of Chhaupadi is culturally ingrained and localized in mostly Western regions. Chhaupadi is grounded in the belief that menstrual blood is impure. As a result, women are banished to huts during their periods, where they are prohibited from participating in normal activities and family life. During their period, women cannot enter homes, kitchens, schools, and temples. They can't touch family members, especially men. They can't participate in social functions such as religious gatherings, weddings, or school classes. They can't consume dairy products or meat. They can't read books, touch water sources, or even touch living plants because it's believed they will die. Although Chhaupadi was deemed a human rights violation and banned by the Supreme Court in 2005, the practice has continued to flourish due to its close ties with the Hindu religion and deep roots in local cultural tradition. Communities fear that there are consequences for breaking these menstrual taboos. The issues surrounding Chhaupadi are threefold. Firstly, there is a huge risk to the immediate health and safety of women using Chhaupadi huts. The huts are usually cattle sheds, which are small, makeshift shelters that provide very little protection from the elements or security. There have been horrific stories of rape, assault, and death resulting from smoke inhalation directly linked to the practice of Chhaupadi. Secondly, there is the issue of isolation and resulting mental health problems. When women are branded untouchable, this has an innate effect on their psyche. Finally, this cultural taboo contributes to gender inequality in Nepalese society. On a conceptual level, it perpetuates the idea that women are second-class citizens. But on a practical level, it means that girls are missing out on school and other opportunities. When girls miss out on education, this has a lifelong impact. And in lower income countries such as Nepal, it perpetuates the cycle of poverty because a low education means they may be stuck in low income jobs or forced to marry at a young age. This only further exacerbates the inequalities present between genders. The issue of period poverty has been addressed by various types of designers in different contexts around the world. The first precedent we examined was a comic book developed by UNICEF for Indonesian school students. It was designed to address the issue of educational inequality between genders resulting from girls being teased by boys during menstruation. They included both boys and girls in the participatory design process to ensure the end product would be appropriate, effective, and enjoyed by the target users. One side of the book was a how-to guide for girls, teaching them about their bodies and addressing common misconceptions. And the other side was for boys, educating them on the normality of menstruation and helping them to empathize with female classmates. Our second precedent was Senimat, which is a locally sustained Bangladeshi initiative supported by UNICEF and Because I Am a Girl. Through this initiative, women and girls learn to manufacture their own sanitary pads through skill building sessions. The products are then used or sold on the market, providing an income to the workers. The initiative is designed to provide long-lasting and systemic effects for women within the community with a specific focus on keeping girls in school. Although well-intentioned, the initiative has come under fire for causing harm through the employment of underage workers in poor conditions, and the girls may become more focused on gaining an income than attending school. Final precedent is the WaterAid latrine. WaterAid aims to provide clean water, decent toilets, and good hygiene to people living without these basic necessities around the world. Their latrines are designed to address the issues faced by women by providing them with a safe space for managing menstrual hygiene, separate from men in the community. The strength of this design is in its simplicity. By providing basic private toilets, hygiene disposal units, and running water, women are empowered to manage their basic health needs and continue their daily activities with dignity. One of the other strengths of WaterAid's projects are that they work through a partner system with NGOs around the world to ensure the needs of local people are understood and met, co-design essentially. The WaterAid latrine is the precedent we have selected for redesign in the context of Nepal.
As a group, we use the conceptual frameworks of co-design and localism to assist our design process. Co-design, also known as participatory design, applies basic human-centered design tenets by placing the intended user at the center of the design process and ensuring that they are involved in the development of the solution. By combining the expertise of professional designers with the lived experience of impacted individuals, it is far more likely that a successful and impactful solution will be developed and that addresses the human needs and fits into the daily life of the user. Our second conceptual framework is localism. Localism in design speaks to produce design solutions that are uniquely embedded in local culture and are applicable only to certain groups of users. Our final design proposition is Mituri, a women's shelter that acts as a safe space for girls and women to gather and reside during their menstruation. The name Mituri means to live harmoniously together with dignity, justice, and equality. Prominent Nepalese social activist Radha Podel elaborates. Mituri is an ancient indigenous practice across Nepal, where mutual love and respect operate beyond blood and marriage relationships for the goal of living in togetherness. This is the driving philosophy that underpins the Radha Podel Foundation, which focuses on menstruation and gender equality within Nepal. Connected by ethos, we envision partnering with their established foundation to ensure that the needs of local women are being addressed. We envision the proposed design as a network of women's shelters throughout Nepalese communities, offering safety and support for women nationwide. Women will have the option to reject the inadequate Chhaupadi huts for a shelter that would include dormitories, a shared kitchen, a vegetable garden, and communal areas for community storytelling and education. By creating an environment that allows women to share their experiences, we aim to normalize menstruation and challenge ingrained taboos. During their short stay at the shelter, girls and women are encouraged to participate in the inclusive programs held within. In recognizing the issue of girls' absence from school during their menstruation, there will be a school program whereby girls will continue their studies so they don't fall behind. The Mithalia art project provides a culturally appropriate approach to storytelling and empowerment, which Fatima will explain in more detail. The impact of the kitchen and vegetable garden is twofold. Firstly, it allows the residents access to food that would otherwise be restricted from them during their menstruation. Secondly, the growth and success of the crops within the Mitira can potentially disprove the cultural belief that plants, among other things, will wither if touched by a menstruating woman. This will become a symbolic message to the women that they are not impure or inferior.
Mithila art is an ancient painting using colorful geometric shapes and lines in southern Nepal and India. We use Mithila painting as a communicational program for Nepalese women to share their stories with others in the community as well as outside the community. According to our research, Mithila art is still kept alive by major centers across the Mithila region. Female artists participating in Mithila paintings have a long history in Nepal. Usually artists learn it from early ages by observing their mothers paint at home. So Mithila art passes generation by generation. In the past, women used this art form to express their faith and desires or depicting social topics such as birth and marriage using mythological scenes. Similarly, contemporary artists cover feminist issues and gender inequality topics. In our community center, we encourage all women to participate in the art studio where they can learn how to paint Mithila art, illustrate their daily experience of being a woman in Nepal, and sell their artworks professionally to tourists and fair trade shops. Considering Mithila artwork as a profession in the community will provide new opportunities for local women to work outside the home and have a source of income. Traditionally, Mithila art was painted on the mud walls and floors of huts. In Mitari Community Center, artworks are painted on the canvas by female participants in the art studio and then displayed inside the community all over the wall, similar to a wallpaper. Selected paintings will be sent to exhibit in major art galleries of Nepal, where there is more chance for the stories of Nepalese women to be heard and seen. Based on the program map, in Mitari Center, Mithila artwork takes a journey from art studio to exhibition area and then art gallery. As a result, Nepalese women in the community are able to build a strong network with women in other parts of the region through storytelling and narratives. Moreover, Mithila paintings are voices of women who are willing to be heard by people outside the community.
We found the bamboo hut appropriate for repurposing for the residential pavilion for menstruating women to provide a safe stay, an alternative to the recently outlawed but still practiced Chhaupadi huts. The bamboo hut that we have used was designed by 3 Modular, by Savoy, Demensheva and Smikova. Ethical design and sustainability was the reason for the choice for bamboo lightweight construction, as it is appropriate in earthquake zones. That's less opportunity for human death during earthquakes should the buildings collapse, although bamboo buildings have lasted 40 years, as these buildings tend to float rather than fracture. Bamboo is also sustainable as it grows quickly and locally, so less reliance on energy for delivery to site. So we have 7 bamboo pavilions that have been redesigned, 4 accommodation pavilions to house 5 women in each of the residential pavilions, 1 kitchen and dining pavilion for communal use with an exterior dining area, weather permitting, 2 central pavilions for communal activities. And the kitchen garden flanking the entrance is important. When men and women can see the garden flourishing, this would give women a sense of empowerment, as this is contrary to the traditional belief menstruating women spoiling food and nothing growing. So the bamboo pavilions were designed initially for a 2-person accommodation and redesigned to accommodate 5 women with a lounge room at the entry. Redesign includes rear sleeping compartment converted to a day lounge should the need arise, because sometimes they need a little bit more space and don't want to be in the communal area. So each residential pavilion has in-house toilet, kitchenette, and small laundry, well, at least 2 toilets, that is. The central hall is designed to accommodate art workshops and exhibitions as the main activities to engender a spirit of goodness and self-worth. The new Mitari Women's Shelter is not restricted to 1 per city, but many, so that each woman in any community village has access, so as to prevent more women dying alone in small menstruation huts. As many Mitari as necessary for the size of the township. The idea is to facilitate incremental change towards a more humane experience for women currently suffering this tragic inequality. And we have the main 3 options in conclusion. The safety aspect provides a safe space for women during menstruation to address issues of rape and unsafe living conditions that currently are happening. Education contributes to long-term cultural change by educating the community on the realities of menstruation. And community strengthens the local community relationships through social and therapeutic art activities.